Hey guys, this is going to be episode 2 of my aim training improvement series. I guess for this video we're going to be focusing on types of aim styles within players, what comes naturally, and for some what doesn't. So aim styles are essentially the type of aim that you are either best at or like how you lead into your shots. It can be a lot of things really. I guess an example of this right now is this would be considered a sort of tracky style or like a counter movement, you know? So this little training arena that I'm currently in, this is what you would just call straight tracking, you know? Shit like this is, I tend to have a more tracky play style because currently at the game I'm in, which is Overwatch, there's a lot more tracking characters, as well as the fact that tracking is my worst aim style, so I train it the most. Does that make sense? So for me, that's how I would start. But there are some players that are not like that whatsoever. Something else to think about when tracking, right, is this is how it would look in an aim trainer. There's no movement. There's no real, thing. So that's one of the reasons I bring in Kovacs into training, in my opinion, if you really want to get good fast or catch up, is it is just raw aiming. And I think the reason my personal playstyle is based on tracking, besides the fact that I work it so much, is if you watch aim in slow-mo, it is just tracking. So in technicality, all 3 types to 4 types of aiming will actually coincide together, funny enough, if that makes sense. So that could actually be really helpful for other types of people who want to actually improve it just anything overall, is to start with tracking. The next type of aiming or aim style is click timing or clicking. The reason I said tracking would relate to this is if you watch slowly, if you are flicking, which is, like that, it's essentially just slow tracking, or fast tracking, sorry. Slow tracking, would be considered click timing eventually, because this is how it leads another aim style. So click timing is, you move your mouse and you click when it goes over. So I click when when it goes over the head. Now, flicking is just fast tracking, if you really think about it. The reason I say that is it helps, if your mind is in a sense of all aim works together, you'll notice that, like, when you do drills on Kovacs, that it will all sort of correlate. Sometimes something I do, because people ask me about high scores in the past, when I do want to grind high scores, I just play things that, like, I don't play usually. That usually helps me with PBs and stuff like that. Another thing that you'll notice from, like, a lot of new FPS players when they or when you can tell they have an aim train and stuff, is when they play like a lot of pistol heroes like Androxus, McCree, they play like a Deagle. Here's how they reset their aim. They'll be like this. They'll flick off the target like that. And I'm showing you this in like Overwatch as an FPS, so it is. But really, it's better just to keep reticle on the target and sort of just follow whatever their strafe is, So that is actually kind of a useful tip I wanted to provide on the side there. This specific routine, 1 while 6 target C, was an old routine that I used to play before I got into Voltaics, and I really think it would help with click timing. And the reason I'm showing you this, I didn't really specify the routine of tracking, is simply because I wanted to show you like how steady aim can be and what it means to like click time, if that makes sense. At the end of the day, right, tracking and click timing are very close inside because they have 2 alternatives, which is target swapping, which is essentially just following a target and then moving on to the next as fast as possible, the next priority target. And by the way, I'm talking while aiming, which is very hard. Sorry. But they both have little things that connect each other. And I think that's important to note. Because in reality, the third thing would be target swapping or flicking. You could add either one as the third and fourth. But they're really just variations of tracking and click timing. So I don't know. There's one of those things you just have to notice over time. And I want you guys to notice the type of aiming that is there to begin with. Okay. Now the reason I'm mentioning these types of aim is because I think if you're a beginner, obviously I could go over some routines here. In fact, you know, I'll probably show some on screen um, for each individual thing that are useful in my opinion. Um, Doing multiple types of like different routines in Kovacs is important, and I'm stressing Kovacs because a lot of people get onto an aim trainer and they just play routines and expect their aim to improve. You sort of need to aim with a purpose, aim train with a purpose, if that makes sense. So, you know, I knew my tracking was not in a good place in comparison to my click timing just because of when I played tracking characters. I felt like I wasn't beaming as hard as when I would play like, you know, quick time characters. I still feel that way. So I put in double the work into tracking, and I get really mad at myself when I don't fix specific, beat certain scores and stuff. Um, I think a lot of what has to do with aiming is having a motivation to grind. A lot of the best aimers, they just have this energy off of them that proves that they're going to beat you. It's almost like an ego, but it's a good thing. It's like a confidence thing. If you don't have that, it not even the sense of like the I'm better than you complex, but if you don't have the sense of betterness for yourself, it's really hard to just get on an aim trainer and just like do nothing. The second thing people point out to me is that it's boring, right? Things you could do is play with your friends, beat each other's high scores, track your improvement. Track your improvement is so important. I assume that people who watch these videos either support me or just want to get better at FPS in general. Tracking your improvement is so important. When I realized after 2 weeks of playing Overwatch, after Paladins, that my aim got 19% better, I was fucking appalled. Because I thought I hit like some of my limits. I'm still hitting new limits every day as we speak. Recording these videos, I'm hitting new high scores, which is really funny if you think about it. And I know I'm sort of preaching to a choir at this point, but you know, I hope for the best for every new player or even older players that want to learn, or FPS players that want to break new limits and new heights and new consistencies. That's big. So, also, I should have like edited in some routines while I've been talking. So, I hope that helps a lot, and I appreciate if you guys watch this video. This is mostly just the types of aim styles and routines, and whether you are click timing oriented or tracking oriented. I am more click timing oriented, as people have seen. That's why I work on tracking so hard. Know what you're good with and practice what you're bad with. And then when you're not feeling confident, play routines that are based around your strengths. It helps. When I feel down on myself, I do just play click timing sometimes just to be like, wow, I'm fucking good. It's a little ego, but you know, it is good. I would say after all of that, after all that tracking and all of that betterness, just see where you are, and then try to after you like aim a little bit differently in Kovacs, see how that affects your aiming in just FPS games. Most people feel a difference, and that difference, no matter how small or big it may be, is impactful, and that's what's important. Hey, I appreciate if you guys have watched this far. Check out some of these routines that I'll be showing, hopefully, and let me know what you think. So, I've been Penguin. Peace out. I'll have another, hopefully, video in the series coming out soon after this, and in the week or a couple days, we'll see. The next video should probably be on. It'll probably be like more specific. Like, here are my tracking routines, and here's how I improve on this. Here's my click timing. Here's my Kovacs settings. Here's colorations of the background of Kovacs. Sensitivity, how to find your sensitivity, stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think or want, and I'll try to do my best to answer or help. All right, peace out, guys.
I say hold on, can't fuck on a bitch if the vibe wrong. I done set the wrong lyrics on the right song. Can't